Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to my midweek live news stream where I found some news articles and some other articles for us to have a look at, and hot off the presses, and a trailer for a game that's just dropped. So we're going to have a look at that and talk about that as well. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the video, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Pop in the chat as well, because we're live. And say hello and say, Steve, you're rubbish. And I can say, okay, fair enough, I am. We're live on YouTube, so let me check. I hope so. Yes, we are. We're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. So refresh that. Is that going to come on? Is it going to come on? Is it going to come on? Are you going to come on? Or do I have to press something? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Bloody Rumble. Dead annoying. Yes, we're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Right. And I'll say it again. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch, because no bugger watches it. Right, so later on I'll upload it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Wingress says, Steve, I'm rubbish. Crap, I did it wrong. Did what wrong? Saying you're rubbish. But you're not rubbish. You are an omnipotent mega being from a trans-dimensional realm. Or something. What else we're going to say? Links for all these articles are in the description, and later on I'll put timestamps in so you can flit about if you're watching the, after the fact. You can flit about between the stories if there's a particular thing you want to look at. Right, is that it? Right. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Links are in the description for all that stuff. As I have links to my 2 books, they're down there. Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff, and Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village. Just a bit of fun. They're an Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. There's also the Patreon page. Oh, hang on, I haven't done the Patreon banner for a while, have I? There we go. There's my Patreon page where I do like some exclusive videos and some early access videos and stuff like that. So that's on the Patreon. And there's also a shop. If you go to the shop, there's t-shirts and mugs and stuff with the logo and things on, and designs, a couple of designs and stuff. Right, so I've ordered a mug and another t-shirt for myself to see what it's like. So I'll show you them when they arrive. Right, is that it? Let's get on with the news. And Josh Temple's here. Ready at long time no see. It feels like, it must be over an hour and a bit. Oh dear. Right, so off we go. First up is we're going to watch a trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows. The official world premiere trailer has just dropped. So we're going to watch that and talk about that. So I'll have to mute myself. Then we'll add it to the stage. I'll full screen it. By the way, I'm trying out Brave, the Brave browser. But I don't know if I'm going to carry on with it because I'd have to re-sign into everything. And I can never remember my passwords. So I'll keep plodding on with Chrome probably. But anyway, we're on Brave for now. But anyway, let's get on with this. I'll have to mute myself because there might be a bit of an echo. So while we're watching the trailer, you won't hear me. Right.
Who are you? Who do you serve?
All I have ever known in my life. Our land. Our customs. My family. Burns in the name of unification.
frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed. Power. Vengeance.
And you? Will you continue down that river? Or choose another path, beyond what we see?
And we must look for it, together. We must learn to trust, rebuild.
And follow the blade.
I said, who do you serve?
We are the shadows.
That served the light.
Okie dokie. Oops, press the wrong button. So there we go. That was Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out in November. Yes, lots of people have been saying about the can't call it African American, the black character, which is apparently, I did even mention it in a comment somewhere that Japan wasn't that much of an ethno state back then, but apparently it's based on a real character, a real person, who found favour with apparently Nobunaga, who features in the Onimusha games, doesn't he? But anyway, and this character, I thought that would a fella. Apparently that's a woman, or it's going to be a woman in the game. I thought it was a fella to start with, but anyway, it's not exactly a looker. But never mind. Yeah, they made a couple of movies and shows about him too. I'd never heard of him. But apparently it's him anyway. Yasuke or something is called. I can't see him being very stealthy. You know, the Assassin's Creed, you've got to like sneak about quite a lot sometimes, haven't you? And in his gold armour, he's going to stand out, isn't he? But anyway, they did seem to make a point of pointing out that he was different to the others, didn't they? Because they had a little girl staring at him, didn't they? So they're not just saying, "Oh, it's normal for black people to be here in Japan at this time." So anyway, I'm sure it'll be a fine game, because they usually are, the Assassin's Creed games, aren't they? They're usually decent games. And oh, here's the cat, on cue, unbelievable. But anyway, so there we go. There she is. Oh, look, a black man. Saying, come away from him. No in-game footage, though. It's all, full motion videos. Is that what they still call them these days? Not in-game footage, is it? Well, it doesn't look like it anyway, so I'm sure that'll come at some point. But there we go. Oh, there we go. Who are Noe and Yasuke? Don't know, but other people do. Right, so there we go. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be a fine game. I don't know if I'll get it, but straight away, I'm not going to pre-order it. Never pre-order games. Right, so let's move on. Let's get on to some proper news now. Get on to some proper news. Right, speaking of games, first item on the list is not about a game, but it's based on a game character. So let me full screen this. There we go. It's from Variety. Tomb Raider series from Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Greenlit at Amazon, says Jennifer Mars. And there's Angelina Jolie. I believe that's from the first Tomb Raider film in 2001. Right, Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Tomb Raider has been ordered to series at Amazon's Prime Video. Why her? Why her? They never learned, do they? Fleabag creator Waller-Bridge will write and executive produce the show based on the iconic Tomb Raider video game franchise, which follows the adventures of archaeologist and adventurer Lara Croft. But I bet you anything, it won't be that Lara Croft, or the Lara Croft from the earlier games. It'll be a less busty Lara Croft, who, well, they've even started saying, haven't they, as Crystal Dynamics. She's not going raiding tombs anymore. She goes and gives artifacts back to their, original owners and stuff. They're just going to mess it up. Yeah, they're just going to mess it up. But it'll be a terrible series. But anyway, I've got these water bottles, and they've got this. I don't know. Is it supposed to be like that? It is, isn't it? It's supposed to be like that, so don't fall off. But it gets in the way, does the cap. And if you break it off, you've got these super sharp bits of plastic sticking in your face. Anyway, never mind that. I'll just watch Relic Hunter. Yes, with Tia Carrera. Ooh. Anyway, who's a good singer if you watched Wayne's World? That was actually her singing. Right, Fleabag creator Waller-Bridge will write... I've just said that, haven't I? The series was first reported as being in development at the streamer in January 2023. Amazon announced the Tomb Raider news out of its upfront presentation Tuesday, which was held at the Pier 36 event space in New York City. Phoebe has a lifelong love affair with Lara Croft. I bet she don't. I bet she don't. And as soon and very soon... we'll start the worldwide search for who will play this iconic role, and I just can't wait. It won't be like a I forgot the bloody name now. Sweeney, what's her face? What the hell they call her? Anyway, it won't be her, will it? The Tomb Raider series has been developed under a pact. A pact? Well, they cut each other's hands and a blood pact. Between Crystal Dynamics and Amazon MGM Studios, which comes via DJ2's, that's quite tricky to say, first look deal with the studio to develop additional Tomb Raider stories into series and films, but we're still not getting any Stargate, are we? That's it, Sydney Sweeney. Yes, I couldn't remember her name for some reason. I was thinking like Anna, not Anna Sweeney. I was like, where are we? Yeah, Sydney Sweeney. It won't be somebody, well endowed, will it? They'll go for somebody that, like they did with in the latest film, the I can't remember her bloody name. Man, does my brain freeze up as soon as I start these streams? They're in Ex Machina. Alicia Vikander. It'll be somebody like Alicia Vikander that they'll get. Somebody as thin as a rake, with no curves, which is what Lara Croft's supposed to be all about. Josh Temple says, well, I won't be watching this crap. If Phoebe or Kennedy are attached, I'm out. Well, it won't be Kathleen Kennedy, will it? She won't be attached to it. But, let's say, Phoebe Waller-Bridge doesn't have a good track record, really, does she? I've never seen Fleabag, which apparently is good, but I don't know. But she played that super annoying robot in Solo, a Star Wars story. She helped write... she did like some script doctoring or whatever, didn't she, on the last James Bond film, which I didn't mind, that film, but, there was annoying bits in it. But as a whole, I didn't mind the film, but the ending was atrocious. And she helped with the script, didn't she, for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Density. And she appeared in that as well, which was one of the greatest flops of all time. But anyway, Phoebe is in that new movie, If, which I hear is great. Oh, well, I'm not seeing it. It's an animated, isn't it? Not sure if she's a creative behind it at all, or just her voice. I don't know. But she did write the first series of Killing Eve, and that is a really good series, really good show, is Killing Eve. But so she might surprise us. Maybe this will be good. Anyway, where were we? The series hails from Crystal Dynamics and Amazon MGM Studios and Legendary Television. Executive producers include Wallerbridge and Jenny Robbins, through Wells Street Productions, Dimitri M. Johnson, no relation I don't think, must be from the Kiev Johnsons, through DJ2. Why is it so hard to say DJ2? DJ2 Entertainment and Michael Scheel, Amanda Greenblatt and Ryan Anderlina are consulting producers under their Star Party banner. So it's going to be one of these series that's just like a couple of people in it and then 20 producers, like Star Trek Discovery. I once counted it. The current series of Star Trek Discovery, 23 producers. 23 producer credits in the opening titles. Unbelievable. This is going to be like that, isn't it? The series is produced by Crystal Dynamics and Amazon MGM Studios. If I could tell my teenage self this was happening, I think she'd explode, Wallerbridge said in a statement released shortly after the news was announced. Tomb Raider has been a huge part of my life, and I feel incredibly privileged to be bringing it to television with such passionate collaborators. Lara Croft means a lot to me, as she does to many, and I can't wait to go on this adventure, bats and all. Obviously, in the original Tomb Raider, the first one, we did get quite a few bats in that. So maybe it'll be like that. What are you up to? She's being naughty. Princess, she wants to go out. As soon as I start, she wants to go out. Just read that while I'm away, or look at the wormhole. Come on. What are you doing? You want to go out? Want to go out? Not you. Oh. Are you going out or not? I don't think so. Get out of it. Here, what's this? Come on, have that. You don't want to go out, you want feed it, right? Oh, Liverpool. Right, here, there you go. There you go. You're just going to sit there like a div. Oh, I'm back. She's just sitting there. Looks at me as though she wants to go out. I go open the door. Another cat comes running in. And she just sits there. She's not my friend because I did the flea drops today, so she's not my friend. Right, where were we? Amazon MGM Studios and Amazon Games are incredible collaborators, says Ms. Wallerbridge. With a massive reach across the globe, enabling us to expand our Tomb Raider franchise with multiple new adventures and a shared passion for creating impactful, entertaining, emotional experiences for players. I hate when they use the word experiences. That's proper corporate speak, innit? It's so, I don't know, cold. As I said, corporate, cold and corporate. So somebody that wrote it, she hadn't written this. It's a bloody, media team that's written this, isn't it? Anyway, emotional experiences for players and viewers throughout every facet of this universe. Crystal Dynamics studio head Scott Amos said. Oh, he said that. Sorry, it wasn't her, it was Scott Amos. These timeless stories span all media platforms to meet audiences where they want to engage with Tomb Raider. more corporate speak. It's a critical step towards our future with fans everywhere. Just says we're going to make it like the games and she's going to have big jugs. That's all we want to know. Previously, Crystal Dynamics and Amazon Games announced a collaboration to develop and publish a new multi-platform Tomb Raider video game. The untitled game is described as a single-player, narrative-driven action-adventure that is an all-new next chapter to Lara Croft's legendary explorations in the Tomb Raider franchise. Why did they put that on a separate line? No idea, but they did. No comments. But there we go. I don't think it'll be any good. I don't think. It'll have to have all the relevant boxes ticked. So you never know. They might maybe they'll gender swap Lara. She'll become a non-binary. Oh, for God's sake! It'll be Larry. It'll be Larry Croft. You never know, do you? You never know. So I wonder when this is going to come out. Does it say? Don't say, does it? Does it say when it's coming out? Oh, I'm yawning to get the bloody Sci-Fi quest. Anyway, right. So there we go. So Tomb Raider, the series, is coming to Amazon Prime. Why is there no Stargate coming to Amazon Prime? They keep doing all these other things, just not Stargate. Sci-Trek is nowhere to be seen. Maybe MGM, Amazon have taken him out. Don't know, but... don't know what's happening. Right. Next. I think we're sticking with... Oh, no, we're moving to the Hollywood Reporter next. I'm going to sing. Because it was Agatha all along is the official title of Marvel's WandaVision spin-off. No, really, says Boris Kitt. Marvel also revealed the premiere date for the supernatural show starring Catherine Hahn. The show that nobody asked for, and they just thought everybody wanted this show because it became a meme for about 5 minutes, didn't it? The Agatha all along. And they thought, oh, we'll have to do a series. It's $200 million or whatever they'll have spent on it. And it'll get about 2,000 views. Anyway, the Marvel Studios series and WandaVision spin-off starring Catherine Hahn finally has a set title. Agatha All Along is the official title of the series. Wasn't it supposed to be that to start with, and then they changed it? I suppose it'll tell us in a minute. It was revealed at Disney's upfront presentation Tuesday. What's with the makers? Why don't you just say on Tuesday? Why do you miss out words? I'm sorry, Win Grace and Josh, but sometimes you annoy me. Oh dear. Hahn and co-stars Joe Locke and Patti LuPone, I have no idea, were on stage making the reveal, with the trio also unveiling the release date of September 18th. The show will premiere with 2 episodes, which is standard for Marvel. The series has had several titles. Why don't they just start making pilot episodes, feature-length pilot episodes? If they're just going to show us 2 episodes to begin with, just put them both together as a movie, a pilot movie, like they used to do. Like they did with Battlestar Galactica, the original ones, and like they did with, other series that never got past pilot stage, such as, Doctor Strange and other things. They used to do it with Star Trek, didn't they? They also used to have a feature-length pilot, didn't they? But anyway, don't do it anymore, do they? Straight to series. The series has had several titles since it was announced in 2021. The subtitles have ranged from House of Harkness to Darkhold Diaries to Coven of Chaos. There have been so many title changes that it became a joke or a meme, with Marvel leaning in on the constant changes. In fact, Agatha, the Lying Witch with the Great Wardrobe, popped up as a title on social media yesterday. Wingate says, and the pilot is always weirdly different from the main show. Well, they tweak stuff, don't they? Remember the pilot episode for Babylon 5, The Gathering, where Delenn looked completely different, didn't she? She had a massive chin and stuff like that. But anyway, and they usually there's some different characters as well. They usually bring in other new characters for when the series gets the go-ahead. But anyway. The new title is actually the name of the Agatha theme song that debuted in the 7th episode of WandaVision. The song became a viral sensation and even earned composers Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez an Emmy Award. In addition to Harm, Heartstopper breakout Locke and stage star Lapone, the cast include Aubrey Plaza. I've heard of Aubrey Plaza, but I don't know where from. Comedian Sashia Zamata, cool name. Former Buffy the Vampire Slayer actress Emma Caulfield. Oh yes, bit of a oh god, I can't remember her name. She played the Vengeance Demon. I'm hopeless. Yeah, her anyway. And that 70s show motherly mainstay Deborah Jo Rupp. Yes, can I help you? My cat's back. Princess is back. Aubrey Plaza was Jenna Ortega from the 2010s. Was she? All right. That doesn't help me. Are you wanting to go out now? She wants to go out now. She's had something to eat. Now she wants to go out. I'll be back in a moment. You're a pest. What are you? Yes. Be quick. Oh, go. Quick. No, because Boogaloo's is in now. You're not fast enough, Princess. Bog off. You and all. Go on. Hold off. Here. Here. Oi. What's this? Oi. No. Here. What's this? Come on. Bloody cats. Bloody cats. They're a nuisance. Where were we? Can't remember. Oh, right. Aubrey Plaza was Jenna Ortega from the 2010s. I said that doesn't help me, but never mind. But the name does ring a bell. Jack Schaefer serves as head writer and executive producer of Agatha. There's creative continuity from WandaVision to the new show, as Schaefer was also the head writer and executive producer on the Emmy-winning WandaVision. Well, did she get a memory erased at the end of WandaVision? Sure she did. The show was initially set for a winter 2023 release, but was pushed back due to the actors and writers' strikes. Marvel's presentation also had a look at Ironheart, which has not been finished for ages, and they keep holding it back for some reason, and showed footage from Daredevil Born Again, with stars Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, saying the show would hit Disney Plus in March 2025. Is that another show that's been ready for a while? I don't know, I can't remember. So there we go. So it's going to be Agatha all along. I wonder if they're going to use that music. I bet they do. But I did quite like WandaVision, apart from the final episode, which was bloody awful. But the rest of it were fine, because I'm an Elizabeth Olsen simp. I think she's one of the most beautiful people in the world. But anyway, that's by the by. But she ain't. But I liked her character as well, because she was cheeky and quirky and all that stuff. So there we go. So it might be all right. If it's got its tongue in its cheek, I hope it has. We will see. Right, let's move on. Let's power through these stories. Next up, sticking with the Hollywood Reporter, Boris Kitt again. Star Wars Sigourney Weaver in talks to join The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is from a few days ago, actually. The Mandalorian and Grogu, the first Star Wars movie to go into production. To go into production since 2019's The Rise of Palpatine. Sci-fi legend Sigourney Weaver has gone up against face-hugging aliens and squared off against colonizers on lush green planets and busted ghosts, sort of. And also quested in galaxies. But she has never faced stormtroopers and galactic bounty hunters until now. Weaver is in talks to join the cast of The Mandalorian and Grogu. I hope they changed the name of that, because that's a bloody terrible title. The first Star Wars movie to go into production since 2019's Star Wars The Rise of Palpatine, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau is directing the feature, which is expected to film later this year. Favreau, Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, boo, and Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni, boo, although he does decent cartoons, will produce the feature. The Mandalorian launched in November 2019 as the flagship show for Disney+, with the character then known as Baby Yoda, to the world, not to them, becoming a pop culture phenomenon. I've actually got my Mandalorian t-shirt and my Baby Yoda Grogu lounge pants on tonight. I forgot what I want now. Pedro Pascal leads the series as Din Djarin. I wonder how long if it's a movie. I bet he hardly wears his helmet. I bet he don't. I bet he hardly has his helmet on in the film. Pedro Pascal leads the series as Din Djarin, also known as the Mandalorian, a warrior who reluctantly at first cares for Grogu. The show's third season bowed last year and has launched a number of spin-offs, including the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, which has a second season in development. Oh, joy. Pascal is expected to return as Djarin, although it's unclear in what capacity, as the actor has full schedule. Who wrote this? Dimitri Johnson. For one, he will begin shooting the Fantastic Four for sister Disney division Marvel Studios, beginning at the end of July. Wait, I thought Mando had 4 seasons. I don't know. I don't think they've decided yet. It's supposed to be a 4th season, isn't there? But now they're doing this film. Is the film going to be what the 4th season was? Don't know. Weaver, a 3-time Academy Award nominee, is perhaps best known as the long-time face of the Alien franchise, starting with 1979's Ridley Scott sci-fi horror classic, Alien, then establishing her butt-kicking bona fides with James Cameron's 1986 sequel Aliens. She starred in 2 more after that, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. Her portrayal of maternal monster fighter Ripley proved to be a trailblazer whose path other screen heroines have since followed. She later reunited with Cameron on Avatar. Proofreading, thing of the past. On Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water. Boris, you're writing too many articles. Have a rest. You're making mistakes. With more on the way. I like the Avatar films. They're fine. But, they don't... they make like a gazillion dollars and then nobody talks about them. So they're in the public eye for a few months and make all the money, and then nobody bothers with them after that, do they? Anyway, Weaver also notched another pop culture landmark with her appearances in the Ghostbusters movies in the 1980s. She reprised her role of Dana Barrett in the 2021 reboot Ghostbusters Afterlife. Oh, she was in right at the end, wasn't she? Yes, she was in right at the end. She's repped by UTA. The In Snyder newsletter was first to report Weaver's involvement. So there we go. So what's she going to be in Mandalorian and Grogu? What, is she going to be a goodie or a baddie? Because in a lot of the genre stuff she's been appearing in recent years, she's tended to be a baddie, hasn't she? She was a baddie in Cabin in the Woods, and she was a baddie in Paul. So I bet she is. I bet she's going to be a villain. Not a reboot. No, it wasn't a reboot, was it? It was a sequel, wasn't it? Did it say reboot? I wasn't paying attention to it. Yes, a reboot. Ghostbusters Answer the Call were a reboot, wasn't it? Anyway, with all the girly girls, which I didn't mind first time I watched it, and then I thought, I'll watch it again. And I got about 5 minutes in, and I thought, God, this is crap, and turned it off. But anyway, so, yeah. So, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I think she's going to be a villain in it, because she seems to like playing villains lately. So, there we go. Do Galaxy Quest 2, or the series. I never saw it. The Ghostbusters Answer the Call. It's not good. Although, as I said, when I first watched it, I thought it was okay. And then I tried watching it again, and I don't know, for some reason, it didn't click. like it did the first time. Maybe because I knew what were coming. But anyway. Right, let's move on. Let's move on. What's next? Sticking with Star Wars, but we're moving over to Screen Rant now. Sean Morrison reports everything Star Wars just revealed about Rey Skywalker and her new Jedi Order. A new piece of Star Wars merchandise has revealed huge bits of information about both Rey Skywalker and her upcoming movie Star Wars New Jedi Order. Open brackets, TBC, close brackets. I think. Currently not much is known about New Jedi Order. Open brackets, TBC, close brackets. What is known is that it will follow Rey as she seeks to rebuild the Jedi Order in the aftermath of Star Wars The Rise of Palpatine, and that it will take place about 15 years after the last Star Wars movie in the Skywalker saga. Luckily, there is now new information about the significant gap in the Star Wars timeline between Rise of Palpatine and New Jedi Order. They're getting them titles in, aren't they? A video from Nick Tias showed footage of new Kyber Crystal merch from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which features voice lines from Rey herself. Her voice lines seem to have been said shortly after the rise of Palpatine, as many of her quotes indicate that she's looking to the future of Star Wars. Let's have a listen. Hope it don't go on long.
When I met Luke Skywalker, I offered him his lightsaber, and he tossed it away. But the Force doesn't always make things easy. So you keep trying. That's all you can do. I came...
What the hell? Yeah, Hellraiser. Very cheap, plasticky looking thingy box. What the bloody hell is it? I forgot what they call them now. Holocron or whatever it's supposed to be. Oh dear. With Rey putting on a bit of a Cockney accent. Cool blimey, governor, I'm Rey and I became a Jedi, didn't I? Cool blimey, oi, 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 oi. And all that. Probably $125. Yes, at least. Yes, what a bunch of crap. I know, looks rubbish, doesn't it? We'll spin it on a bit and see what happens. I'm not going to listen to her talking. I'm sure it'll recap what she says in the article. I'm just moving along. Is that all it does? It just glows green and you hear her talking. Oh, and there's another one there, look. Oh, is that a Jedi holocron and this is a Sith one? Is it? Don't know. Or is it something else? I've no idea. The Kyber Crystal plays several lines from Rey where she shares her thoughts on everything from her relationship to the members of the Skywalker family tree, whose name she just stole, to her understanding of the Force. Moving rocks, that's what it is, isn't it? That's her understanding of the Force. Since they cover so much ground, the recordings have also become a treasure trove of hints about Rey herself, as well as New Jedi Order, and they're well worth analysing. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, it's a list. I should have done this as a separate list video, shouldn't I? Hang on. She is with should have been their holocron. Hang on. Jedi is square, Sith is a pyramid. Right. Says I can't remember. Right. Rey defines her own mission, courtesy of Kylo Ren's Last Jedi teachings. There's Kylo Ren. Oh, look, we've got images. That's when they touched each... He's not there, is he? He's elsewhere, and they could touch each other with the Force, because they're a duad, whatever, dyad. Stupid bloody... Oh, God. Ben was right. Oh, so they said it in a Cockney accent, wouldn't you? Ben was right about letting go of the past, not about killing it. My task is to make something new, not by killing the past, but by building and all that's good in it. And then she clicks her heels together and goes, "Call blimey, governor. Step in time, Mary Poppins." One of Kylo Ren's most famous lines from Star Wars The Last Jedi saw him share his thoughts about his troubled history, as he said, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to." No, that was just Rian Johnson putting his thoughts to paper while under Kathleen Kennedy's desk. But anyway, Rey has since taken his lesson to heart, but she's added her own spin to it. Instead of trying to forget the past, Rey has committed herself to learning from it and to focusing on the parts that worked while cutting away the parts that didn't. For all the hardship the Star Wars galaxy has seen, there have also been bright moments in its past, and Rey clearly recognises this. I'm not reading all that about Ben. Oh, we haven't done. Tangerine. Michael Caine. Yes, it looked exactly like a tangerine. Oh dear. Finn was more a Jedi than she will ever be. And I do like Daisy Ridley. I do like her. But Rey's not a good character. Rey's new definition of Kylo Ren's quote also paints an exciting picture ahead of new Jedi Order. This article, paid for by Lucasfilm Limited, probably. It seems to indicate that she'll be drawing on not only Luke Skywalker's teachings, but also less, because she paid a lot of attention to him, didn't she? But also less prominent parts of the Jedi Order's history. This could mean that Rey will be taking inspiration from every era of Star Wars, such as the High Republic, of course, and the beginning of the Order itself. I need a drink. And tangerines. He gave me a tangerine that was exactly the same colour as a tangerine. The Jedi Order has changed several times over its long history, though, so it'll be interesting to see which areas Rey considers to have worked and which ones she chooses to avoid. Well, she'll avoid all the George Lucas parts of it, won't she? And she'll just pick from the High Republic, or what came after, or her own. She'll make her own thing up. Number 8. Rey hopes her Jedi can heal the galaxy. The galaxy been damaged for millennia, but Rey could finally fix it. I thought Luke and Anakin brought balance to the Force, didn't they? Well, no, because the Palpatine survived, didn't he? God. Oh, I've got to do my accent again, haven't I? The early Jedi sought to bind the galaxy's wounds. They looked at what was broken and saw how to fix it. When I read that, I thought, well, I'm good at that already. Well, so were Anakin. He was good at fixing things, wasn't he? He didn't have a Cockney accent. Though both the Sith and the First Order were defeated, the galaxy was still left broken at the end of the rise of Palpatine. It had endured yet another brutal war, and was left without a galactic government yet again after the destruction of the New Republic. Was it destroyed, though? I mean, it can't have been, can it? It wasn't that long, was it? Between them blowing up, I forgot the name, that star system where the government of the Republic, just happened to be at that time. They blew up that star system with the Starkiller base. But surely, they'll have had other seats of government elsewhere in the various places in the galaxy. In America, if somebody blew up Washington, it's the country would still be there and still be functional because you still have government things dotted about, wouldn't you? It might not be in the best condition, but it'd still be there. America wouldn't collapse. But anyway, whatever. Right. The galaxy was in dire need of help, and Rey's quote seems to indicate that her new Jedi Order will be dedicated to providing it. This quote also goes in that. Got to save the galaxy with just a handful of Jedi. This quote also goes hand in hand with the last, as it highlights how Rey will be looking to the Order's past to inform its future. The the more you read on this movie, the more I hate her characters and the creator of it. It's going to be awful, I think. I think it's genuinely going to be awful. Don't give away our secrets. Sorry. Okay, if London blew up, the UK would be fine. In examining the past, Rey will have to avoid some of the pitfalls that led to the Order's downfall, and this renewed interest in healing the galaxy seems to show she's doing just that. One of the reasons the Order was so vulnerable in the prequel trilogy is because it had forgotten that protecting the galaxy was its main priority. So Rey returning to that core value is a good sign. It could even be an indication that her Order will be more similar to the High Republic, as that was a time when the values of peacekeeping were at their highest in recent memory. Bollocks! Sorry, that got me mad. Number 7. Acto. Stupid name for a planet. Why does it sound like a sneeze? Could be more important to the new Jedi Order than anyone thought. Is this going to go on? Oh, it's going to go on for ages. We're only on 7. Most of Rey's quotes are concerned with the future and new Jedi Order and the fact... Oh, hang on. Sorry. I grew up in the desert, and every night I dreamt of an island, a tiny dot in an endless sea. I saw it so clearly, but I never imagined it might be real, and waiting for me. Most of Rey's quotes are concerned with the future and new Jedi Order, and the fact that she makes a direct reference to Acto is a sign that the planet still has an important role to play. The planet Acto was where Luke Skywalker fled to before the events of Star Wars The Force Awakens, and it was also the site of the first Jedi Temple. It has played an incredibly important role in the past, and Rey may be returning it to its former glory. Rey's a Sith. Yeah, she is. It would be more like the rule of Palpatine. Yes. Well, she's Rey Palpatine. Where were we? This quote could indicate that Rey's new order will be based on Acto. I don't know though. Will they go filming there again? Because apparently it's a difficult place to film, innit? I forgot what they call it. Somebody or other's thingamabob. Unless it'll just be all on a soundstage with the screens round. But it's a tricky place to film because it's a protected island, isn't it? You're not allowed to mess anything up. But anyway, we'll see. It would be a sensible choice, as it would provide a level of seclusion due to being located in the unknown regions of the Star Wars galaxy map. Is it? I didn't even know that. Additionally, its connection to the origins of the Jedi Order and the Prime Jedi... What the hell's the Prime Jedi? As well as the dark side Vergence located beneath the island could make it incredibly useful. Rey has already expressed an interest in returning to the Jedi's origins, and part of that could include serving both the dark and light sides of the Force in search of true balance. Which is not what George Lucas said bringing balance to the Force is supposed to mean. Which Acto embodies. Oh, hang on. The only way I will ever forgive them for this abomination is if they turn Jar Jar into a Sith and have him kill Rey, otherwise I won't watch it. I don't think you'd be watching it then, Joe. But it'd be cool if they did that, wouldn't it? I'm already so sick of this damn screen. What? Oh, you're going to rant. I'm sure it will get better. We'll keep going. I'll power through. 6. Rey believes the Force is bigger than the Jedi. The Force is so much bigger than any... The Force is... I can't be bothered. The Force is so much bigger than any creed, any philosophy, anything that can fit in a bunch of books. Right, I see what you mean. I mean the volume wall or whatever. Yes, they just use it too much, don't they? They use it too much. And it's cool and it's amazing, but they're just overusing it now, aren't they? It means everything's smaller, doesn't it? Everything's, you can't, with the volume, you can't do things on a grand scale. it seems. But anyway. With a bunch of books. Master Skywalker taught me that in his first lesson. By the way, they keep talking about books and stuff, and they had books in Last Jedi, didn't they? But George Lucas had always said there's no paper in the Star Wars universe, and I know these were supposed to be from thousands of years ago, but there's supposed to be no paper in the Star Wars galaxy. Changed that, didn't they? Anyway. Master Skywalker taught me that in his first lesson on Acto, I knew right away I'd never forget it, that I'd never be the same. I can't be bothered reading it. It's getting on my nerves, and we're only halfway, and I can't be bothered. If you want to carry on reading it, go follow the link that's in the description, because I can't be bothered reading it. It's too TLDR, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm sorry. Yes, as he should be. Yes, Sith Jar Jar. He makes fun of the volume while watching shows with the plastic plant sitting in front of an orange wall to indicate an alien sky. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Anyway, whatever. Right. We'll leave. I'm not carrying on with that because that article is getting on my nerves. It's a load of nonsense. I mean, it's like they used they're using this thing that you can buy at Galaxy's Edge that's just got her voice in it. That she's recorded it for a toy. It's a toy basically that she's recorded a voice for. Using it as like it's bloody canon or something like that, but. So it's going to be something that's going to happen in the next film. I bet it doesn't. It's going to have nothing to do with it. Anyway, right, we've got several Doctor Who stories next. So, more things to get angry at. Thank you. I was about to start saying bad things while at work. It will get on my nerves as well. If you want to read it, follow the link in the description. Because I've had enough. Anyway, Blaze Media wrote this. Andrew Chapardos. Doctor Who viewership plummets after woke star tells viewers don't watch, turn off the TV. And everybody did. Well, not everybody. I did. The beloved British series Doctor Who did not live up to ratings expectations after its star told viewers not to watch if they had a problem with the progressive messaging of the show. Its cast, former lead and director have been promoting progressive ideologies recently, while the show's viewership has been cut nearly in half. Lead actor and Doctor Who character Ncuti Gatwa already has had the second worst premiere for a season of Doctor Who in December 2023's Christmas special titled The Church on Ruby Road. According to the BBC, the episode had 4.7 million viewers. As That Park Place noted, however, this only beat out the original Doctor Who premiere, An Unearthly Child, that aired all the way back in 1963 to the tune of 4.4 million viewers in 1963. When probably, I don't know, a fraction of people in Britain had tellies. It's even before I were born. That same season saw a significant increase in viewership as it progressed, peaking at over 10 million viewers by episode 10. The same upward trajectory cannot be said for Gatwa's iteration, who famously told critics not to watch if they didn't like the woke direction the series was taking. Don't watch, turn off the TV, go and touch grass, please, for God's sake, he told Variety. As the world darkens, and I do think the world is darkening around queer rights, I'm sorry, but it's getting annoying, that's why. There's a joy and a celebration, and there's a community, he continued. I'm beginning to worry about where we are in society. There's a hero out there, cutting his way through the universe, looking damn good in his suit, and doing it with a laugh and a smile, Gatwa added. Didn't An Unearthly Child get preempted by the Kennedy assassination? Yeah, it would aired the day after, wasn't it, or something? Or was that a different episode? No, I think it was the first one. I think it aired, the day after Kennedy's assassination. Anyway. This, coupled with writer and executive producer Russell T Davies insisting that he attempts to curtail homophobia and transphobia by presenting these themes to youth, did not yield positive results. Gatwa's episode Space Babies, along with episode 2 The Devil's Cord, significantly dropped off, losing almost half its viewership with just 2.6 million and 2.4 million viewers respectively. But they're going to massage them figures. They will. They'll get them figures up somehow with the Beeb and Disney. The viewership pales in comparison to previous seasons also. Ratings website Doctor Who TV showed that in 2023, a year that only saw special episodes, Gatwa's Christmas special had below average viewership when compared to the other shows. I really like the second episode, but Space Babies might be my least favourite episode of the show. As I said before, I lasted 12 minutes and 47 seconds into that first episode and turned it off, and I didn't even watch the second one. I'm done with it. 2021 to 2022 regular episodes averaged 3.83 million viewers, while 2020 to 2021 episodes saw an audience average of 4.1 million. Going even further back, 2018 to 19 averaged 6.2 million, while 2017 garnered 3.78 million viewers on average. Only a single episode from 2017, The Eaters of Light, 2.89 million, even comes close to sinking as low as Gatwa's ratings in terms of viewership in the last 7 to 8 years. Press for Doctor Who has predominantly been around gender and transgenderism, with previous lead actor David Tennant telling critics to F off and let people be. He described criticisms of the beliefs as weaponisation that has been taken up by mostly the right wing or a certain section of society trying to create friction and conflict and division where it needn't be. Or maybe it's just people that just want to see a damn good story and not get lectured to every 5 minutes about pronouns and all that bollocks. They spent CG money on a giant CG space station shaped like a butt to fart. Literally. They used the methane from diaper build-up to fart the station to safety. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I might have to just watch it just for that bit. I'll just skip through it to that bit. Just to see what that looks like. Because I've got an image in my head, but anyway, he also claimed transgenderism is just about people being themselves, and those who disagree with it don't need to be bothered by it. Well, then they shouldn't keep putting it in entertainment and shoving it down everybody's throats. People are getting sick of it. They are. The people are getting sick of it. They just want to be entertained and not lectured to and told how to live as lives. We just want to be entertained. I have the clip in my video. You can skip the episode. I didn't watch your review of episode 2. I'm sorry. I liked it, but I didn't watch it. So I'll watch that then. I'll watch your review of episode 2. But yeah, I'm not surprised viewership's plummeting. I wonder what Disney's going to think about it. Because they're running Doctor Who now, really. It's Disney's Doctor Who. Now, it says there, look. Big letters there, Disney. The Disney logo with a tiny little BBC there. Massive Disney, tiny BBC presents Doctor Who. Disney's in charge. It's Disney's Doctor Who. And it's getting run into the ground like Disney are running everything into the ground. Disney isn't doing much to advertise it over here. Well, it's still on Disney Plus. Maybe you're just not noticing. They show ads if you're already watching Hulu or Disney, but I've seen nothing else. Maybe it's because you're watching it and they're thinking, well, we don't have to show him ads for Doctor Who because he's already watched it. So we'll show him an ad for something else. Anyway, so I wonder what the next episode will do. I bet it'll be even less. But it'll be even less viewers, I bet. I'm going to say 2.2 million for episode 3. Disney will keep doing the crap they're doing and ruin it for good. Yes, they will. They will. Because they're just, I don't know what's going on with entertainment these days. I mean, there's good series out there and good films out there, but they seem to get drowned out by all this DEI stuff, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all that. And it's annoying, and I don't understand it, to be completely honest. Because I'm old. I'm an old fart. I'm an old man shouting at clouds. That's what I am. It might go up since it's the return of Moffat, but a small spike, if any. It's not getting good reviews, is it, though, apparently? That episode, boom. It's not getting good reviews from the critics. But anyway. Right, we'll move on to the next Doctor Who story. I honestly can't remember what the next Doctor Who story is. I'm bounding into comics now, so I could get spicy. Spencer Bakuli, or Bakuli. Doctor Who actor Jinkx Monsoon, thank you for calling him an actor, Spencer, rejects critics of series' new queer direction. If they don't watch it, then who needs them? Look at the state. God, it gets me so angry. In providing further evidence to the why do they always have stupid eyebrows? That look like, I know he's a drag artist and stuff, but I know it's a style, but it does me head in. In providing further evidence to the theory that its current production team is more focused on owning their perceived enemies than actual storytelling, Doctor Who actor Hera Hoffer, better known by the stage name Jinkx Monsoon, has declared that should anyone stop watching the series due to its new and overtly progressive direction, they would do well to not let the door hit you on the way out. Monsoon, who guest starred in the second episode of Series 14, The Devil's Cord, or Season 1, as the villainous child of the toy maker and manifestation of music, the Maestro, offered this tired anti-fan refrain while speaking to Slate's Isabel Kleiger, ahead of their episode's May 10th premiere. Oh, and that's I saw a clip of that, where it's correcting pronouns in that scene, isn't it? Making reference to the actor's identity as a transgender drag queen, I'm going to say Klieg, at one point asked Monsoon as to what kind of response to Maestro are you expecting from the traditional Doctor Who fans, to which the former RuPaul's Drag Race contestant asserted, Russell T Davies brought Doctor Who to everyone. He brought it back because he was passionate about it. To the people who have issues, the show that you love was created by a queer person. Get over it. I don't know. Was it created by a queer person back in the day? Don't think it was it? Back in 1963. A lot of people are going to really love this, and I think this season is going to create a lot of new Doctor Who fans, the actor continued. And if we lose some of the transphobic ones, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Continuing in their thoughts, Monsoon added, there's a lot of toxicity around the gender and the trans conversation. In the 70s, it was the conversation of queerness, the gay conversation. We overcame it once, and we'll overcome it again. To the people who are upset about it, boo-hoo, cry your effing tears. It's not your world exclusively. We all live here, so get over yourself. Why don't you get over yourself, mate? Because obviously yourself is full of ego and, flamboyant, and you're just wanting to shove it in everyone's faces all the time. Thusly, I know a lot of people might not even watch this season of Doctor Who because it's taking such a decisively queer step. I'd watch it if there were good stories, and I didn't turn off after 12 minutes because it was shit. See, this is why I just watch shows and try to avoid interviews. Yep. The actor concluded, however, if they watch it, I think they'll see that we're just actors playing characters. I said, you're not, are you? You're playing yourself. You're being yourself. And if they don't watch it, then who needs them? I truly believe that for every fan we lose to transphobia, we're going to have 2 to 3 more coming in because they're excited for trans representation. Right, just bear with me. How do you spell it? Oh, it's there. just going to find an image of him being in RuPaul's Drag Race. There you go. You can see he's playing exactly the same character. Let me find a picture. They're all basically the same. I'm just trying to find an appropriate one. There we go. Right, so just bear with me. I'll just drag this over. Oh, it's in a different bloody browser, isn't it? Never mind. I'll just get rid of that a minute. Oh, no. Never mind. I didn't realise I got rid of it. Have I been reading this way and you couldn't see it? Did I forget to add it to the screen? Have you guys seen the miniseries The Gentleman in Moscow? It's really good and proof you don't have to push a narrative to get a good show. Is that one that's on Netflix? I've heard it's really good. I've not seen it, though. I've seen ads, but not watched it yet. I've heard it's good, but I've not seen it yet. Anyway, right, so I'm going to drag this over. Hang on, I've done this wrong. Just bear with me, I'm being silly. There we go, that's what I'm wanting to do. Right. Let me scroll that down. Right, here we go. Hang on. Use that one. Right, so here we go. Right, there we go. So that's Jinkx Monsoon in RuPaul's Drag Race, and that's Jinkx Monsoon in Doctor Who. Exactly the same character, even the same hair look. Unbelievable. Oh, yes, it's just been you for a while, I tell you. Because I forget to add it to the screen and just start reading. Anyway, I'm not starting again. Next up, where were we? Here we go. Right. I know a lot of people who might not even watch Doctor Who. Oh, I've said that. I read that bit, haven't I? Yeah, they're just playing characters. Right. And that's what I'm saying. You're just playing yourself, as I've just shown you. And if they don't watch it, then who needs them? I truly believe that for every fan we lose to transphobia or bad stories, we're going to have 2 to 3 more coming in because they're excited for trans representation. Yes, and the viewing figures, show that, don't they? For every viewer they've lost, 2 to 3 more have come in, haven't they? That's why there's only 2.4 million viewers for your in the overnights for your episode. Jinkx. Maybe you've got an appropriate first name there. Unfortunately for Monsoon, as tends to happen time and time again in response to such combative declarations, from those who seek to push out the old fans of a given entertainment franchise rather than being shamed into watching, said critics chose to actually take the actor's advice and not tune into the series premiere. Is this just BBC ratings? Yes, that's just for the BBC overnights. I don't think it includes, iPlayer or Disney Plus figures, but because Disney doesn't share, does it? No. But they'll be forced to share the figures, I think, and they'll massage them and they'll lump all the clicks on Disney Plus and on the iPlayer, no matter how long people watched it for, and they'll just lump them all in to get the viewing figures up, and they'll say, "Oh, look, 4 million people watched it," or they'll say 6 million people watched it over 7 days. They'll say something like that. They will. As such, the first 2 episodes of Doctor Who's latest series debuted to staggeringly low numbers, pulling in just 2.6 million viewers for its first adventure, Space Babies, and 2.2 million, I thought it was 2.4, I'm sure it was 2.4 million for The Devil's Cord. BBC iPlayer numbers have yet to be reported, but are likely to contribute not insignificantly to the episode's final ratings. In an example of just how far interest in the series has fallen by comparison, current lead Ncuti Gatwa's first full episode as the 15th Doctor and the last Doctor Who adventure prior to the debut of Series 14, Season 1, the 60th anniversary special, the Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, managed to pull in a total of roughly 4.73 million viewers, which I think itself is one of the lowest for the Christmas special. I think it's like the second lowest. Or it might have been the lowest, I can't remember, for the Christmas special. It's near the bottom anyway. The next new episode of Doctor Who, Boom, is currently set to crash land out of the time stream on May 18th. So next Saturday, I think. So, yeah. You're not going to get more viewers because if people, queer and trans people who are into Doctor Who are going to watch it anyway. They're not going to just watch it because there's you on it. You know, if somebody that's not interested in it is not going to tune in just because they see you doing that or that. They're not. Because even queer and trans people want to watch quality entertainment. Anyway. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. God, that picture does my head in. It's ugly bastard. I'm sorry. I got angry then. Oh, I'm glad I didn't have that on. Earlier on. Right, let's move on. Still on Doctor Who. This one. Sci-Fi Quest did a video about this yesterday, I think it was. Add it, Steve. Den of Geek. Who wrote this? Chris Farnell. We've got to visit them. A Doctor Who / Star Trek crossover would be unforgettable TV. But it's not. Yeah, very forgettable because it's not going to happen. That Space Babies nod is just the latest in Russell T Davies's campaign to get these two sci-fi shows together. No chance. More chance of me growing a big willy than that happening. The crossover dropped an hour ago on my channel. Lol. Behave. I don't hear on about. We've got to visit them one day. It is among everything else happening in Space Babies. Oh, right. Have you done a video? Right, I'll check it. See, I've got to look now. You're making me look. Subscriptions. Just bear with me. I'll just go to your bloody page. Oh dear. I follow too many. I'm subscribed to too many channels. I am. It takes me ages to scroll down to Win Grace, who's near the bottom because it begins with bloody W. Hang on, where are we? Is it in shorts? There we go. Doctor Who meets Star Trek. Right, we're going to watch this. We're going to watch this now. Bugger this thing. We're going to watch a... hang on, bear with me. Let me pause it and I'm going to drag it over. We're going to watch a Windgrace video. Hope he don't copyright strike me.
Aha! Is that like a map transporter like in Star Trek?
Let me refresh.
We've got to visit them one day.
Hurry up then, George. When you're getting paid,
What's happening here?
Good luck. Aha! Is that like a map transporter like in Star Trek?
We got to visit them one day.
Hurry up then, George. When you're getting paid, £7 a day.
Good luck.
Thanks. Roll to record. And a 3, 2, 1.
Very good. I will, I'll not play too much of that, just in case. Russell Watson's watching. Can you move? But I think we know where it's going, don't we? Yes, very good. Very good, Windgrace. Go and subscribe to Windgrace's channel immediately. Yes, you should rename yourself to AAA Windgrace. Aaron A. Windgrace Aardvark the Third. Right, where were we? We've got to visit them one day. It is among everything else happening in Space Babies, a pretty throwaway line. Ruby Sunday notices the TARDIS has landed indoors and says, "Is that like a matter transporter, like in Star Trek?" The Doctor answers, "We've got to visit them one day." Maybe he just wants to go to the Ticonderoga set. I don't know, but anyway. Blowing that one line up into an entire article may seem excessive, although it's not like the pipeline from throwaway gag to entire episode is a long one. The premise of Mummy on the Orient Express started out as a comedy phone call the 11th Doctor had at the end of season 5's finale, The Big Bang. But the thing is, when Russell T Davies announced he'd be getting back on his throne as the King of Doctor Who, he had a lot of new ideas, but also some that he never got around to. We already know that episode 5 of this series is based on an idea that was too expensive to film last time, but now he's got all that Disney moolah. One of the great white whales of Davies's last tenure, ever since the Eccleston days, was a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover episode. In his memoir / stack of emails that got turned into a book, The Writer's Tale, written with Benjamin Cook, Davies writes, "I would so love to see the Doctor on board the Starship Enterprise, puncturing all that Starfleet pomposity with his sheer doctorness." He goes on to say that when we began in 2004, Star Trek Enterprise was still on air, and I told producer Julie Gardner in all seriousness that I wanted to do a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover. It was on our list of plans until Star Trek Enterprise was axed. But you don't... might as well say, right, I'm going to do a Star Trek Predator crossover. You know, it's stupid. Or a bloody... oh, never mind. It was an idea that Davies loved so much he went back to it for the Easter special that would eventually become Planet of the Dead, in an episode that would have potentially seen the TARDIS land on the starship Endeavour with crinkly forehead aliens and all the Trek tropes. But eventually Davies discarded the idea as too much like parody. Well, it would be, if you did do it, even if you're trying to be serious, it would just look like a parody. Because it's nonsense. If you can't land on the real actual Enterprise, what's the point? But sadly for Davies's tenure, there was no real actual Star Trek anymore. Let's be honest, even Star Trek Enterprise wasn't proper Trek. Shut your fat face! I'm getting angry now. With its faintly industrial-looking, submarine-esque sets and its NASA jumpsuit-inspired costumes, the prequel never really managed to be the iconic Trek show of our imaginations. You don't know what you're talking about, mate. But now Davies is back, and so is Star Trek, and not just any Star Trek. If, and that is a massive if, that TARDIS were going to land on a Federation starship, there's no prizes for guessing which one it would be. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is begging for the chance. Oh, for God's sake, it isn't. It can go into the Discovery Bridge as it's fiction like the last two Doctor Who Doctors. It's not real. No, it isn't. Are we saying that about Enterprise? Russell T Davies or the author? It's the author, innit? I forgot his bloody name already. Chris Farnell, who don't know what the bloody hell he's talking about. He looks like a dickhead anyway. Where were we? Strange New Worlds is an episodic show whose tone is a mix of drama, comedy and high science fiction concepts that would gel well with new Doctor Who, and has already demonstrated that it is not above a little bit of crossover horseplay with last season's Lower Decks overlap. Yeah, but at least Lower Decks is Star Trek. I suppose the only way they could do it is if the TARDIS did something like in the many worlds concept of the universe, where there's an infinite number of alternate universes where anything is possible. So anything you can imagine is happening somewhere in another universe because there's an infinite number of them. That's the only way they could do it. Strange New Worlds also offers The Enterprise. Not really The Enterprise, though, it's just called that. Anyway, with all due respect to all other Trek iterations, if you are bringing the actual TARDIS into the world of Trek, you don't want the Doctor getting to know Saru or Boimler or even having a drink in Quark's bar. As great as any of those things would be to see, you want the Doctor on the actual Enterprise 1701, so he doesn't even know there's an NCC at the beginning. This Chris Farnell's really annoying me. No bloody A, B, C or D. Thinks he knows his Star Trek now, you see. You want him meeting Spock and Uhura, and more often than seems statistically likely, Kirk. And this is what Strange New Worlds has to offer. It's not going to happen, mate. So before we all run off and start writing our fan fiction, because that's what it'll be, of what that episode might be, the question is, could it actually happen? Davis is the first to admit such a crossover between multiple huge media franchises and everybody's lawyers and writing teams would be a logistical nightmare, which is why it's never going to happen. Talking about it to the Times in 2009, he said, "Can you imagine what their script department would have wanted and what I would have wanted? It would have been the biggest battle." Yes, it would, and that's why it's never going to happen. That's why it's never going to happen. And that was before Doctor Who fell under the Disney umbrella. In fact, a Star Wars crossover might be a good deal more plausible under the circumstances. The Star Wars alphabet Arabesh has already appeared in Alien Graffiti in the Who episode Face the Raven. See, I wouldn't have even noticed that. I don't even know that episode name. I don't even know what season it were in, and that series. And the current TARDIS art team reportedly hid an R2-D2 Easter egg in the design. But that might be an easier fit. It is nowhere near as satisfying. What difference does it make? As I said, you might as well just have a Doctor Who Emmerdale Farm crossover, or a Doctor Who Love Boat crossover, or a Doctor Who Clarkson's Farm. I'm going about farms a lot. Crossover, I don't know. Two dung beetles fighting over a turd sounds like to me. Face the Raven is Capaldi and the End of Clara. Oh, there we go. So I probably didn't watch that one then. Despite Davis's recent flirtations with the fantasy genre, Trek and Who are pure sci-fi at heart, with values of exploration, empathy, and a willingness to shift your own perspective that doesn't sit so well with Star Wars' epic battles of good and evil. The fact that Davis is still saying in interviews that I love that show, I wish we could cross over with Trek. I'm a huge fan of the new franchise. Is counterintuitively probably a sign that there are no secret talks going on behind closed doors, because there are. It's not going to happen. But it's been managed before, just not on telly. There we go. Comics. Clarkson's Farm is amazing. I've only seen season 1, and I have to get round to watching the rest of it. As many people have no doubt skipped reading the article to write in the comments already, well, I'm going to check them now after you've said that. There's already been a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover. The IDW comic miniseries Assimilation Squared is a good demonstration of the potential rewards and pitfalls of a TARDIS Enterprise team-up. This saw the TARDIS team of 11, Amy and Rory, land on the Enterprise 1701D, getting together with Picard and co. to take on a Cyberman Borg super army. It had some good fan-servicey bits in and some neat ideas. The TARDIS landing in a historical holodeck programme and not realising they were in the future was nice, but it also showed the challenges of doing this well. First and foremost, Doctor Who and Star Trek both span half a century of various media with entire wikis full of lore. For instance, if the Star Trek Enterprise crossover had taken place, the Doctor might have wondered why Starfleet wasn't busy trying to repel the Dalek invasion of Earth. Of course, they're separate things. Does Kurtzman even know what Doctor Who is? Probably not. Probably not. But when he finds out about it, it'll be on his list of things to mess up. Because he doesn't have an original idea in his head, does he? Never does anything original. Transformers, The Mummy, Star Trek, that Clarice series. What else did he do? Oh, Man Who Fell to Earth. None of them original. And it would have to do this while also dealing with the fact that Doctor Who has mentioned Star Trek, the television show, quite a few times in continuity. So what? Star Trek gets mentioned in Stargate, but there's never going to be a Stargate Star Trek crossover. The comic miniseries spends a lot of time dealing with this, concocting an elaborate plot about the merging of universes, but it's all just a little bit unwieldy for 45 minutes of family entertainment. But even beyond those logistics, which can be pretty efficiently hand-waved away, the big issue with the comic series was that the Doctor and the Enterprise crew quickly became just too damn chummy. Back in the writer's tale, Davis acknowledged that in an official crossover, the Doctor would have had to learn that Starfleet is wonderful, but that's a small price to pay. But the big issue that any crossover would have to contend with, and also, frankly, the big reason for doing the crossover in the first place, is that the Doctor and Starfleet are natural enemies. What? You want to see how Starfleet would handle the Doctor? There's plenty of Trek episodes to give you a clue. We don't just mean the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, A Matter of Time. Sees a time-travelling historian turn up on the Enterprise and generate no end of trouble. Or the Enterprise episode Future Tense that sees it find a time machine that's bigger on the inside. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they'd see the Doctor as an enemy, because he can speak. And he can say, I'm the Doctor, I'm a good guy. And he's not up to something. Because that historian was just stealing things, wasn't he? And he went from the future, from the past, wasn't he, in the end? But anyway. Yes, Cisco would punch the Doctor, yes. The character that most resembles the Doctor in Star Trek is Q, not in, a sometimes exiled member of the stuffy order of beings that transcend space and time, who turns up in Star Trek at random times to flirt with the captain and generally cause trouble. No, it's nothing like Q. Meanwhile, if you want to see what Starfleet looks like through a Doctor Who lens, one need only look at the legions of generic space explorers who turn down the Doctor's help with a curt thank you, funnily dressed weirdo, but as a highly trained team of professionals, I think we can handle this ourselves before they all get horribly murdered or eaten. Yeah, well, you could say that, but they weren't Starfleet, were they? As we've already said, the fundamental values of Trek and Who are the same: exploration, empathy, communication before combat, a desire to learn and enjoy the wonder of the universe. So why are you saying that, that there'd be enemies? Because they wouldn't. But it's not going to happen anyway. But its very heart, Star Trek has always been a workplace drama about professionals who are doing a job, just as intrinsically the Doctor is a tourist on a gap year that never ends. Starfleet's prime directive, for better or worse, is to never interfere, or unless it makes for a good story. The Doctor's prime directive is to never interfere unless he feels like it, which is all the time. And that's why it would be good, no it won't, watching the Strange New Worlds Enterprise crew scanning stuff with their tricorders while the Doctor wanders around licking things and pushing random buttons and seeing Pike agonise about the Prime Directive while the Doctor just casually overturns a system of government he dislikes. Sounds like real fun. No, it doesn't. Sounds bloody awful. Moreover, Strange New Worlds and the current incarnation of Who are both franchises operating not only at their peak. I like Strange New Worlds, but wouldn't they call it peak Trek? Chris Farnell is a bloody idiot. Needs sacking. But don't. I don't want anybody to lose the job. But he's not good. But also most in their most platonic forms. Seeing that come together would make an unforgettable hour of TV. You're a tit, mate. Is the comments? Have I missed them? Oh, the comments, 7. Give me some Spock. Blah, blah, blah. Don't know about you. Oh, God. There we go. Keep dreaming. It's never going to happen. There's actually some people saying they'd like to see it. Idiots. Idiots. All of them. La'an was in both. Crossover achieved. Was she in Doctor Who as well? I can't remember. She's British, after all. Right, what's next? Move on. I think we've still got more Doctor Who stories to come. Doctor Who and Star Trek. Bloody hell. Stick with Den a Geek. But it's Louisa Meller this time. Stephen Moffat confirms he's written Doctor Who 2024 Christmas special, Joy to the World. That's his lot for now, says Moffat. Considering the slippery prevarication that led up to the official word that former showrunner Stephen Moffat had written a new episode of Doctor Who for Series 14, Season 1, this next confirmation arrived with relative ease. In a very enjoyable and in-depth interview by Tom Spilsbury at TV Choice magazine ahead of Moffat's new episode Boom, airing this weekend, the ex-Who boss confirmed rumours that yes, he's written this year's Christmas special. She was one of the soldiers in that episode where the Doctor found out River's true identity. Oh, right. Okie dokie. See, you remember everything. You got a bloody photographic memory. Moffat told TV Choice that the 2024 special might well be his final ever Doctor Who episode, but then again, it also might not be. I'm not against doing another one at all, but I don't have any tremendous visceral need to do another one. As I got to the end of Boom, and as I got to the end of Joy to the World, his upcoming Christmas special, I did think, is that it? Is that the final moment? I think they both have quite good final moments for the Doctor. I was thinking, yeah, that could be goodbye. I've already said goodbye. Due to arrive on December 25th, 2024, Joy to the World, named for a popular festive hymn, Joy to the World, stars Bridgerton, Derry Girls and Big Mood's Nicola Coughlan, it'll be, won't it, as the Doctor's one-off companion. An official first look image of Coughlan in character as a blonde wearing a natty red beret. So where's Ruby going to be? Ruby and the other one, the new one that's in Andor. Are they not going to be in the Christmas special? Or is she going to be in with them as well? Don't know. Natty red beret, green dress and a red suede jacket was released last November. 5 imperial shillings, say her character name is Joy. Yeah, probably. Also rumoured to appear in the episode, which is set at least partially in World War II, is Plebs star Joel Fry, seen recently in the excellent Inside Number 9 final series opener. Oh, is it the final series of Inside Number 9? Oh, boo. That is great, that series. That's great, this is the final one. But I didn't understand the first episode. It was set on a train, it was called Boo to a Goose, and I didn't get it. What's the end? I thought, I don't get it. But anyway. The episode's as yet unannounced but rumoured director is Bridgerton, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Riverdale's Alex Pillai. Visit TV Choice to read the full interview in which Moffat describes his experience of having to keep the Boom secret in increasingly awkward public appearances, what it was like to go back to the old job on day release, the difference between writing for Who now and during Russell T Davies's first tenure, and the unfinished ideas he and Russell T Davies knocked around to revive for the Ncuti Gatwa era. I never did the silence quite right. We could bring them back. Quote. There's also talk of how Moffat landed on the idea for new episode Boom, in which the Doctor and Ruby arrive on a war-torn planet only for the Doctor to step on a landmine that threatens to explode at the slightest provocation. The whole thing, directed by Julie Ann Robinson, is an exercise in creating tension, says Moffat. I'm sure I've seen that in another series, where somebody stepped on a landmine and they can't move. Or something of that nature. I know we saw it on in Lethal Weapon 2. I think it was 2, wasn't it? Or was it 3? 2 or 3, I can't remember. Where Roger's stuck on the toilet. That's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? With a bomb on the toilet. But I'm thinking of somebody actually physically standing on one. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere else. Anyway. Doctor Who almost never does tension. It doesn't do nail-biting tension. It does romance, adventure, comedy, love stories, everything, but it doesn't do tension. I wouldn't say that, Stephen. I think it's done quite a lot of tension over the years. Anyway, because the Doctor turns the tension off. But he's not always there, is he? Not this time he doesn't. So there we go. So, he's doing the Christmas special as well. And it's official. Right, I think we've one more Doctor Who story, and then we can move on to something else. Yes, we have. But this is not something to get angry at. This is an article about Doctor Who and Netflix. Doctor Who used to be on Netflix in the UK a few years ago, and it's not on anymore. It was just the new ones, the Russell T Davies ones. Not the original ones, but they're not on anymore. Obviously, they're on the iPlayer now, aren't they? But anywho, here we go. It's from Giant Freaking Robot, Chris Snellgrove. The Doctor Who Netflix mistake that turned the Sci-Fi series into a slasher horror. And there's David Tennant as the 10 again. It used to be on Netflix here too, much like everything Trek and Gate and all of them. We've never had Stargate on Netflix over here. But we've still got Star Trek, proper Star Trek, on Netflix over here. Classic Trek. Because I watch it often. Right, while Doctor Who has always had some scary elements to it, most fans would never compare it to something as gory and gruesome as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. However, users who rented DVDs from Netflix back in the day were treated to more Leatherface than David Tennant. All of this happened thanks to a manufacturing mistake that has become one of the strangest bits of this sci-fi franchise's lore. Oh, look, a sonic screwdriver that actually looks like a sonic screwdriver. It almost breaks both my hearts to explain this. Wow, you're a Time Lord. Chris Snellgrove. Yeah, must be. But explaining this Doctor Who Texas Chainsaw Massacre connection means taking readers back to a time they may be too young to properly remember, back before it was a streaming juggernaut. Netflix became a household name because consumers could rent DVDs and have them delivered right to their mailbox. I remember the days when you couldn't even record things off the telly onto a VHS or Betamax. They were invented while I were alive. I'm old. This made it easy to binge watch shows like Doctor Who, whose DVD collections were prohibitively expensive to buy. When I was younger, I used to record things off telly on audio cassettes. I used to have a portable TV. And I had a portable cassette player recorder, and I used to just put the microphone part of it, just balance it on top of my telly and just record stuff off there. Films and stuff. I used to listen to films in bed and stuff on the night. That Star Wars and Close Encounters and stuff like that. They were the days. Right, where we were. Back before it was a streaming juggernaut, Netflix became, and I've just read that. This made it easy to binge watch shows like Doctor Who's DVD collections were prohibitively expensive to buy. And there's Leatherface. That's from another one, isn't it? Is it one of the later films? I don't know. Back in 2007, users around the world were having Doctor Who episodes sent to them by disc. At the time, David Tennant was the new hotness. Pardon me. In more ways than one, and users were eager to tuck into the disc containing the Season 2 episode New Earth, which I think was Season 2 episode 1, I think, wasn't it? The very first episode, I think, after the Christmas special. For Doctor Who fans, this was the proper beginning to Tennant's new adventures, but that disc contained the darker character's misadventures. Specifically, it contained footage from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning. What is notable about this Netflix mistake is that Doctor Who fans were not simply sent Texas Chainsaw Massacre discs by mistake. Instead, the footage from this grisly horror prequel simply appears midway through the Doctor Who episode. Worse, the footage in question included a maniac hacking off limbs, and even though Tennant's Doctor had his hand cut off in the Christmas special, Leatherface's brand of dismemberment was more than what the average Who fan wanted to see. And that's what he regenerated from Jodie, hasn't he? Looks like he's going to throw up, doesn't he? I think I would as well. Just how the heck did the Doctor Who DVD get footage from a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film in the first place? An alleged BBC insider offered the best theory as to how this freak accident happened. According to him, both DVDs were made at the same time for release on the same day. But don't they have quality control? Anyway, maybe I'll explain it. At the time, this was a major blunder for both the BBC and Netflix. For the BBC, at least, the only silver lining in all of this was the fact that it was only certain Netflix DVDs of the show that were affected rather than retail versions. Therefore, fans who bought Doctor Who The Complete Second Series DVD collections in stores didn't have to worry about accidentally seeing any footage from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. I wonder if they're still out there, like eBay or whatever. I wonder how much they're worth. At least it's a fun story. After this bizarre incident, there were no more explicit connections between Doctor Who and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, although I'd personally wager a TARDIS key that the Torchwood episode Countryside, which was filled with colourful countryside cannibals, yes it was, quite gruesome as well, took a few pages out of Leatherface's book. Meanwhile, all of the people who watched those affected DVDs back in the day now have a wild story to tell younger fans. Next time someone complains about the series getting too scary, those particular older fans will be able to regale everyone about the time a sonic screwdriver accidentally faced off against a bloody chainsaw. Source the register. So there we go. So if you rented Doctor Who from Netflix, specifically the first season 2, the first episodes, you saw a clip of Leatherface. I can't remember the name of that actor. He's played Jason, I think, if it's the same one. But chopping people up. Fun and frivolity will be had by all. So there we go. Right, that's enough Doctor Who for tonight. What's next? Ooh, bit of Planet of the Apes. This from Screen Rant, Charles Papadopoulos. If I remember to bloody add to stage, there we go, nearly forgot. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes secretly includes George Taylor. Theory explained. And there's Charlton Heston as Taylor. Taylor! A theory about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes considers the return of the franchise's oldest protagonist, George Taylor. The historic franchise's latest instalment is directed by Wes Ball, kicking off a new trilogy that occurs generations after War for the Planet of the Apes. The world established in the 2024 movie isn't quite at the level of post-apocalyptic as 1968's original Planet of the Apes movie, despite being a complete reboot with no connection to the originals. It kind of does, though. I mean, the new films do mention the Icarus and all that early on, and lost in space or something, it said. So it is kind of mentioned. Anyway, despite being a complete reboot with no connection to the originals, the modern franchise seems to be heading in a similar direction. Owen Teague headlines the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes cast as the franchise's new protagonist, Noah. Like the 2010s trilogy, the latest saga seems to favour an ape lead, with Noah filling the gap left behind by Caesar as a heroic, compassionate leader. Unlike the previous trilogy, however, Wes Ball's saga establishes continuity with human characters as well, with Freya Allen's May introduced to play a pivotal role in the series. I'm getting all dry. Having an important human character establishes some cohesion with the original movies, leading toward theories about the new movie's connectivity to the 1968 classic. The Kingdom, and there's Charlton Heston with is that Milo? I think it's Milo, and I can't remember who played him. There's Kim Hunter as Zira, Roddy McDowall as Cornelius, and Linda something or other as Nova. What else we got? And there's Taylor watching humans being captured by the apes. More of that. Oh, this is from the new film, isn't it? There we go. Right. The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes ending twist, spoilers, if you're not seeing it, I've not seen it, but what the heck, sees May return to I'll wait. You could bugger off if you don't want it spoiling. Right. Spoilers ahead. Twist, all the pods will have failed except for Stuart in this universe. Who the hell's Stuart? I'm trying to look back now. Ever seen Stuart? I don't know. Who's Stuart? Do you mean Taylor? I don't know. The woman. Oh, was she called Stuart? I can't remember. Yes, she was the only one to die once you had the original crew, in the pod. Something happened, didn't it? And she was dead. Yes, she was all desiccated. Yes, she was. Yes, that'll probably happen. Anyway, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes ending twist sees May return to a colony of intelligent humans living in a bunker, which is shocking because the simian flu virus has devastated the human population, making much of the remaining species feral. May brings the colony a SATCOM key, allowing them to reactivate satellites and establish communication with other human bunkers around the country. Kind of reminded me a bit of Battlefield Earth. The first person they get in contact with states that they're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, leading to theories that it could be George Taylor, who's from there in the original movie. It's not likely, is it? Anyway, George Taylor is the main protagonist of the original Planet of the Apes film. He's a 20th century astronaut who sets out in hopes of finding a more civilized culture, though his ship ultimately returns to Earth roughly 2,000 years later. I think he just wanted to get away from Earth, really, didn't he? I don't think he cared where they ended up. Anyway, the Ashen created that damn virus. I won't believe otherwise. Is there a Stargate somewhere? 2,000 years later, though the planet is unrecognisable and ruled by apes. The modern Planet of the Apes movies aren't technically connected to this, but it seems likely that they could end up in a similar state, with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes director Wes Ball suggesting the new series could end where the 1968 film began. Of course, if that was George Taylor in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, his character is incredibly different from the version from the originals, which could be fitting. The original George Taylor left Earth before the events that led to apes becoming the dominant species on Earth, leaving several possibilities for how a new version would differ, given the 2024 film's focus on the stars via the abandoned University telescope. It's possible humanity could pull off a space travel stunt. Many even theorise that May was an astronaut before the film came out. While it's unlikely that the mention of Fort Wayne, Indiana is just one of the many Planet of the Apes references, it's called an Easter egg, mate, that's what it is. In the new movie, it's fun to theorise about the possibilities. Another option for George Taylor would be that he's already had his space mission and crash-landed back on Earth, similarly struggled with an ape civilization, and eventually made his way back to human society. He could also have been lying about his location and could actually be in space at the time of the movie's ending, leading to a plan to bring him home or continue his expedition. I don't know. Maybe it's connected to the Burton version. Yes, Marky Mark's on his way. Oh dear. Running away from the wind. The movie's ending has a distinct purpose, setting the stage for Wes Ball's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Humanity may be on its last legs, but it's not totally extinct, and their technological advancements mean they still have some fight left. The modern Planet of the Apes movies haven't embraced outlandish sci-fi elements like the original movies. What do you mean outlandish? You mean mutants and worshipping a giant nuclear missile? That's not outlandish at all. However, as or dogs and cats just dying out and people getting apes as pets instead, but then using them as servants for some reason. Don't know, it didn't really make a lot of sense. However, as the franchise continues to expand, reintroducing George Taylor would be an exciting way to move toward classic science fiction elements such as space travel or even time travel. The new Planet of the Apes trilogy already has its lead protagonists, and it would be unwise to overshadow them by introducing a new version of a classic character. Alternatively, the series could continue to hint at a space travel narrative happening in the background, leading to a third trilogy That would eventually end with the start of the 1968 movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes seems set to explore another grounded conflict between humans and apes, but it could also continue to lay the foundation for more sci-fi elements in the future. Well, you never know. You never know what they're going to do, but I doubt it. Oh, let me tell you, just turned off. Oh, yes, it just restarted itself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll just turn it off then. You're turning off. Technology, yeah? Talking about technology, and suddenly my technology fails. Come on, then you're turning off. Yeah, go on, go away. There you go. Leave it off. I forgot what we're talking about now. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go and join up with the other. I think there'll be Easter eggs dotted about. Like the Icarus and the astronauts being lost in space were mentioned in the very first one. I get mixed up. Was it Rise, the first one? Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They were mentioned in that, but, you know, it was an Easter egg, not really a connection to the original film, I don't think. Because it didn't really tell us how humans lost the ability to speak in the original Apes films. They just did over time, didn't they? They weren't like a simian flu or anything like that. You know, there was some sort of nuclear conflict or whatever, wasn't there? And humans regressed somehow and lost the ability to speak, but it never told us how or why. But anyway, so there we go. But I haven't seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes yet. But I'll get round to watching it eventually. And I'm sure it's good because I've liked all of them so far. But, I prefer the originals. Beneath the Planet of the Apes will always be my favourite. But anyway. Right. What's next? I think we've a couple of Star Trek stories to finish. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. A couple of Star Trek stories to cleanse the palate. Here we go. From Slash Film, Whitney Seibold, of course. Star Trek's infamous Spock's Brain episode was a sneaky dig at NBC itself. I like Spock's Brain. Often considered one of the worst episodes of Star Trek. I don't know why. It makes sense to me. I don't know why people... yes, I know my background went. Yes, I know. I said me telly, it switched itself off for some reason. I've just left it off. It's right. It's fine. Often considered one of the worst episodes of Star Trek, Spock's Brain, September 20th, 1968, boasted a story wherein a species of low-intelligence aliens infiltrate the USS Enterprise, sedate everyone on board, and steal the grey matter belonging to Spock, Leonard Nimoy, for nefarious purposes. Low-intelligence aliens. I don't know, it's a while since I've watched it now. I'm going to have to watch it now. I thought it was somebody really clever that did it. Anyway. It will later be revealed that Spock's brain was required to power a supercomputer on a nearby planet, that the computer could temporarily inject complex information and skills into people's heads. The crew of the Enterprise outfit Spock's brainless body with a temporary brain-like machine, and they can pilot him via remote control. It's ace! Eventually, Dr. McCoy, DeForest Kelly, will be injected via the supercomputer with knowledge of how to surgically return Spock's brain to his body. Well, it's the 23rd century, after all. The goofy part is Spock doing his own brain surgery. The rest isn't that bad. When McCoy runs out of knowledge partway through the operation, the now conscious Spock talks him the rest of the way through, which still makes sense because brain surgery often they do while the patient is awake, don't they? So why not? Why not? Spock's brain is far-fetched and silly, even by Trek standards. No, it isn't, Whitney. It's cool. I like Spock's brain. Spock's brain was directed by Mark Daniels, and he's not particularly proud. Well, he should be. In the oral history book, Captain's Logs, The Unauthorized Complete Trek Voyages, edited by Mark A. Altman and Edward Gross, Daniels and long-time Trek writer David Gerald, or is it Gerald? I never know how you pronounce it. I said Gerald. Talked about Spock's brain, and they concluded that the episode was meant to function as a wry satire, a goose, to the serious-minded NBC executives, or perhaps Gene Roddenberry himself, who were all taking the show too seriously. Exactly. Brain and brain. What is brain? Something that I haven't got. Probably why I liked that episode. William Shatner also noted the episode's symbolism in his 2009 autobiography, Up Till Now. Surely, Shatner thought, something was being stated outright in the story about a machine searching for a brain. Bones. Daniels noted that the first draft of Spock's Brain's teleplay left Spock on the Enterprise while the other characters located his missing brain. Daniels was the one who decided to turn Spock into a mechanical zombie who came along. Then the concern was whether or not he would look like a zombie walking around. Thankfully, Leonard was able to pull it off. And yes, Nimoy wasn't a stiff-armed zombie, although he did still look a little silly. And according to Gerald, the silliness might have been the point. Gerald, is it Gerald? I don't know what to say. Gerald, I don't know. Suspected that the episode's writer Gene L. Coon, credited as Lee Cronin, was trying to confront Gene Roddenberry's tendency to take Star Trek seriously to the point of it being no fun. Gerald posited, I suspect that Spock's brain was Gene L. Coon's way of thumbing his nose at Roddenberry or something. If not Roddenberry, he was thumbing his nose at how seriously the show was taking itself. I suspect what had happened is that they were a little panic-stricken because there wasn't a lot of scripts to shoot. Or there weren't a lot of scripts to shoot. The history of Star Trek is management by crisis. I think somebody called up Gene L. Coon and said, we need the script in a hurry, can you do it? And he did it under a pen name, and I don't think he deliberately set out to write that show seriously. Sorry, I'm snuffling again. I'm all better now, my cold's gone, but for some reason I've just started snuffling. Unbelievable. As such, Gerald laid out what he suspected was Coon's thought process. Just a minute. Getting on my nerves, is he? I don't think there's any way you can take that episode seriously. No, it's fun. You've got to take it as a joke. What's the stupidest science fiction idea to do? What if somebody stole Spock's brain? This was a premise that could have been cribbed from a low-budget sci-fi horror thriller from 1953. Yes, and I could do it in magical monochrome. Only available on the Patreon page. Anyway, Gerald felt that Coon definitely would have tried something that playful, saying, I think Gene L. Coon had that kind of sense of humour to do that kind of impish stuff. He had an irreverent sense of humour, and I think he wanted to poke Star Trek because someone was taking it too seriously. Possibly Roddenberry, but also possibly the NBC higher-ups. It's okay to have fun. Maybe it was his way of not buying into it, Gerald said. How's this article? Oh, done. Shatner's memories of Spock's brain, meanwhile, were an indicator of the show's suffering. He recalled that Star Trek was moved to a Friday 10 p.m. time slot. Baffling, isn't it? Which is death for any series. Shatner was at the very least jocular about the plight, writing, our first show, I won't do an impression because I can't, our first show, that third season, might have been a tribute to the NBC executives who so mishandled this show. It was about a society in desperate need of a brain. It was entitled Spock's Brain and took place on Stardate 5431.4. I don't know what day of the week that would have been. No. But I can assure you it was not a Friday night at 10 o'clock. Because even aliens are busy Friday nights at 10 o'clock. Yes, so am I. I'm busy Friday nights at 10 o'clock doing Friday night's Appointment with Fear, which this week we're doing House and On to Dill. But anyway, that's by the by. Shatner also tells a cute, made-up story of how Nimoy was lying on his operating gurney during the episode's final surgery scene, only to open his eyes in surprise and in a panic yell, Friday night at 10 o'clock. Perhaps he didn't, Shatner implicitly wrote, but it was true, of course. Trek struggled through its third season with a slashed budget, forcing them to eliminate guest stars and location shoots. After its third season ended, Star Trek was no more. Except it wasn't, was it, Whitney? It's possible, however, that Star Trek lived on somewhere. Yes, in syndication. And then we got the animated series. And then Star Trek Phase 2, which became the motion picture. Lucky for me, I'm home Fridays at 10. Some of my favourites are in season 3. My favourites are all just scattered throughout the. I don't think any one season of the original series I think as a favourite season of mine. I like episodes from all of them. I think they're all scattered evenly. But anyway, so there we go. So that's all about Spock's brain. And an episode which I do like. I do enjoy Spock's brain. And I don't know why. But I seem to really like the episodes that people hate. Like I say, I like that. And I like the Voyager episode Threshold that people don't like. I don't know about other ones that people hate. But those two episodes that are unfairly maligned, in my opinion. But I like them. Right. Let's move on. And finally, last story, then we can bog off and do something more interesting on a Wednesday night. Well, it's a Wednesday night here. Right, giant freaking robot, Chris Snellgrove again. Beloved Star Trek character changed over budget limitations. Boo, baddie Admiral. Odo is one of fans' favourite characters in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and it felt like every season revealed something new about this curmudgeonly shapeshifter. Move along home. Is that the one with the game on Deep Space Nine, or is that the one in Next Generation? I can't remember. The one in Deep Space Nine, isn't it, with the games? That's Move Along Home, isn't it? Is it? I watched that recently and I didn't mind it. Then the aliens came through the wormhole and they were playing the game at Quark's, weren't they? And nobody realised for a while that they'd put Cisco and the others in the game, hadn't they? And they all thought they were going to die if they didn't do it right. And at the end, they said, it's only a game. Is it that one? I didn't mind that one. That's the DS9 game you thought was the worst DS9. I didn't mind that one. Yes, I thought that's fine. I thought that were okay. And I can't remember the Irish one, isn't it, with the Irish settlers in TNG. That's often thought was the worst TNG one. But yeah, I don't think I like that one either. As well, should I say? But I can't remember the name of that one. Anyway, where were we? Some of this new information was downright weird, including the revelation that Odo can perfectly pull off the Vulcan nerve pinch. This was revealed in the episode Paradise Lost, but what most Star Trek fans don't realise is that this moment was only added to the script because there wasn't enough budget for a cool shape-shifting effect. Well, how could he do a Vulcan? It says the Odo goes Vulcan, but he couldn't do faces, could he? He could change to an animal or an inanimate object, but he could never do humanoid faces properly. So he'd just look like Odo with pointed ears, wouldn't he? Don't know. We will see what they say. In case you've forgotten the details, Paradise Lost was the direct follow-up to the Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode Homefront. In the first episode, Cisco works closely with Admiral Layton, Boo, a man who wants to put Earth in a state of martial law to deal with supposed changeling infiltration. Yes, and 200 years earlier, they were on Vulcan trying to get Romulan and unification going on Vulcan in 2150. Or whatever the bloody hell year it is. But he plays a good baddie, does Robert Foxworth. Anyway, where were we? What's to change? Put Earth to a state of martial law to deal with supposed changeling infiltration, but we find out there's only 4 changelings on Earth at the time, don't we? Cisco eventually discovers that this is just a plot for Layton to pull off a coup. The captain is thrown in jail, and Odo later shows up to liberate his commanding officer by using a Vulcan nerve pinch on the guard. Seeing Odo rock a nerve pinch in Paradise Lost was surprising to fans because this is a distinctly Vulcan move. It's the kind of thing we had repeatedly seen Spock do in the original series and in the early movies, and we saw Data do it in Unification Part 2. However, it was strange to see a non-Vulcan pull the move off, especially because Odo made it look so easy. Eventually, the co-writer of Paradise Lost, veteran Star Trek scribe Robert Hewitt Wolfe, admitted the real reason Odo used a Vulcan nerve pinch in the episode. He don't like writing episode. He just puts ep, doesn't he? He's lazy. It's not Twitter, you know. We ran out of money for morphs, he admitted with a laugh. While it's not immediately clear how much the morph effects cost, these were the days that it cost $10,000 to simply show a phaser blast on screen. So we can imagine Odo morphing into one cool shot after another could easily put an episode over budget. Of course, Odo using a Vulcan nerve pinch in Paradise Lost brings up the question all Star Trek fans were asking when the episode came out. Where the heck did the shapeshifter learn how to do this? Odo actor René Aubergenois, the late great René Aubergenois, admitted that he had no idea, but implied that it made sense because Odo is a man of many talents. He probably learned it off, he's a security officer. He probably learned many, hand-to-hand combat techniques, including the Vulcan nerve pinch. That's how I'd look at it. At any rate, Odo wasn't the first non-Vulcan to master the nerve pinch. We saw... I think we also saw Scott Bakula, Captain Archer. We saw him do one, didn't we? Maybe they'll mention it. When he held the capture of Surak, didn't he? Anyway, and he wouldn't be the last Star Trek character to do so. Data has used the nerve pinch before, though it makes sense that his perfect android brain would let him master this complex technique. Picard has actually used the nerve pinch on at least 2 different occasions, but these notably occurred after he mind-melded with the legendary Vulcan Sarek. On Voyager, both the EMH and 7 of 9 knew how to use the nerve pinch. On Discovery, Michael Burnham has mastered the technique, which isn't as crazy as haters might think. Not only was this character raised by Vulcans, but we know from the original series that humans can be taught this technique and that Kirk was simply a poor study. Don't even mention Archer. I'm sure Archer did it, when he held Surak's capture. I'm sure he did a nerve pinch. I'm sure he did. But anyway. It's a small detail, but having Odo use a nerve pinch in Paradise Lost added a fascinating new wrinkle to this compelling Star Trek character. Just like that, we discovered that the security chief had a hidden weapon in his arsenal to instantly incapacitate those who threaten him. We would never have had this character detail at all, though if not for Paramount running so low on money that they couldn't whip up another morphing effect. But as I said, it wouldn't have been able to turn into a Vulcan-looking Vulcan. It'd have looked like Odo with pointed ears and probably a bowl haircut. He'd have had his Vulcan, he'd have had his Odo face because he couldn't do humanoids, could he? I mean, the other changelings could. Yes, he probably hates Enterprise too. But this isn't the other fella. This is somebody else, isn't it? This isn't the fella I was getting mad with earlier on. This is somebody else. This is Chris Snellgrove. The other war, Chris Farnell, wasn't it? Anyway, but as I said, yes, it did just look like a Odo Vulcan, not a Vulcan-looking Vulcan. But anyway, whatever. Even if he turned into one, that doesn't mean he knew how to do a Vulcan nerve pinch. But he does anyway. It's all worked out, though. In retrospect, most of those morphs now look cheap and dated. Odo perfectly imitating Spock, though, now that's priceless. Unless they just meant it to do a morph to get past the guard or to knock out the guard or whatever. Not as a Vulcan. I don't know. Is that it? Oh, yes, that's it. So there we go. So Odo could do a Vulcan nerve pinch. And so could Captain Archer. I'm sure he did. I'm going to have to check back now. Anyway, so there we go. So that's it. That's the end. That's the last story. We're done. For another week. Right, hang on, My nails, my thumbnail's broken. I keep catching it. On me clothes. Right, let's get rid of that. Right, we're all done. Right, what's coming up? What's coming up next? We're on Wednesday. Friday. Come here. It's Friday night appointment with Fear. And we've got a double bill. Wow. We're watching the remake of House on Haunted Hill from 1999, starring Geoffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, Jeffrey Combs, and others. And then after that, we're going to look at Return to House on Haunted Hill, the straight-to-DVD sequel to this one. And I can't remember what happens in it. I think there's something about, like, bad guys, isn't there? I think there's some bad guys in the house. I've forgotten. But we'll watch that as well. I have to be careful because I think there's nudity. I don't think there's any nudity in this, but I think there is in this. So I'm going to have to be careful. I'm going to have to be quick with the old skip button. So that's on Friday. Sunday will be sketch time. On sketch time this week, we're drawing... I forgot about her name now. Jenna Coleman, Clara from Doctor Who. We're drawing her. And then on Monday, next Monday's, Magnificent Mondays, we're looking at... I know you can't tell with that, but it's The Amazing Captain Nemo. Speaking of films or pilot episodes that for series that never happened, this is one of them. This was supposed to be a pilot episode for a TV series that never materialised, about Captain Nemo, played by Hosey Ferrer, basically doing the bidding of the American government. And it's a fun film. It's crap. It is proper rubbish, but it's fun because we've got Burgess Meredithing it up to Billy O. In his super submarine that is just a Space 1999 Eagle with the legs taken off, sort of. Another bit stuck on. But firing lasers under the sea and all that stuff. Would the laser work under the sea, or would the water make it all go wibbly wobbly and dissipate? I don't know. But anyway. So that's on Monday, The Amazing Captain Nemo. This is the Spanish DVD. It's the only one I could find. Spanish DVD. But it does have an English audio, thank goodness, but no subtitles, unfortunately. I've ripped it to my PC. Right, so that's that. And that's all I've got coming up. So anyway, if you look at my channel, today I've uploaded the latest in my top 5 movies from each year that since I was born, or whatever we're calling it. We're up to 1980. So... obviously, that includes stuff like Empire Strikes Back and Flash Gordon and Airplane, stuff like that. So go and watch that. My top 5 favourite films and 5 honourable mentions. So there we go. So I've got to do a 1981 next. That'll be fun because I think there's a lot on that list. But anyway, right, so we're done. We'll leave it there. So thanks, Grace, for... keeping me facts going and correcting me when I'm wrong and telling me stuff. And thanks, Josh Temple. Sorry for getting you angry earlier on about the Ray stuff. I don't think we had anybody else, did we, pop in? No, I don't think we did. I better check and make sure. Hang on, what was that? I just saw something then. Did I miss somebody? Oh, no, it was that. It was nothing. Make sure there's no comments or anything in the live chat on Rumble. No, there ain't. Of course there ain't. Not even any Bitcoin people. Right. So we'll leave it there. Have a good night. Yes, I will. I want something nice to eat, and I don't know what to have. I'm going to have a rummage about and see what we've got, because I'm a bit peckish, and I just fancy something really tasty. And I don't know what to have. Anyway, yes, you too, Josh Temple. Have a great evening and continue your recuperation from your fall. So, not your fault, they mess stuff up. Yes, they do. They always mess stuff up. Do they do it on purpose? Is it maliciously deliberate, or is it just, what's the word? Ignorantly deliberate, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But they're just messing everything up out of these days. Anyway. Right. So, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time. Hang on, where are we? Right. Until next time, I'll save it.